All right. Should be live.
Live. How are we doing, boys and girls? Today we've got Brandon here with a few questions about Bond Money Protocol. Anybody else who wants to pop in as well, the links are in the socials. So just join up and we can answer all your questions. So how you doing, Brandon? What have you got for us, dude?
So my first question is, I had a question regarding BUSM. What's keeping it from being pegged to $1 right now?
I can handle that one. So BUSM, it has a great mechanism built in to maintain peg. The reason why we're not maintaining peg, like how Abracadabra is, well, for one is because we just launched, we're really new on it, but it's mainly because there's a lot of users that have a ton of collateral. So there's a huge demand to borrow BUSM and then to like sell it to either buy more bomb assets or to do whatever they want with it. But because of how new it is and because of the massive amounts of collateral that people have, there's just a lot of sell pressure on it. Not really for any particular reason, just because, there's people that want to just do things with the BUSM. So they're willing to, sell it for less than $1. So, I mean, it's on one hand, it's kind of a good thing because it just shows that there's a lot of demand to use that aspect of the ecosystem. But on the other hand, it's a little bit negative just because new liquidity providers might not be as willing to provide liquidity when it's not right at peg. So,
right.
But yeah, it's starting to look a lot better, and we're getting a lot more liquidity on it, and I think we'll be right around $1 on it pretty soon.
Yeah, it's looking good. My second question is just on the max.bomb, the money site. I was just wondering, when you go to the single staking for bomb, currently it's at 4.661%. Is that daily or annually APR?
So the APRs there are all annual. So the reason why the APRs might look a little bit odd right now, like I'm just looking at it right now, the utilization is actually, I'll just share my screen real quick. So the utilization on both is about the same, and the APRs are drastically different, and that's because the APRs they adjust pretty slowly. So BOM was at really low utilization for the last couple of weeks, so it's going to take a while for that APR to jump up if the utilization stays high. So it basically aims to have the utilization around 70%. So while it's above 70%, the APR is going to keep climbing, and then when it's below 70, it'll drop. So yeah, that'll keep climbing if the utilization stays where it's at.
Okay. Well, those were really my only two questions. You guys are doing great. I've been part of the community since the very beginning, and seeing all the updates and how far this has come is amazing. So appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, and really appreciate you coming on and asking those questions and joining us.
Yep.
Awesome, dude. Thank you very much.
Yeah, feel free to stick around if you want, or take off, whatever you feel like.
So yeah, I've got a list of questions from the community I've been working on today, so we can crack through that in a second as well. And yeah, anything you just a bit, yeah. So anything you want to question at all, Brandon, or anything like that, let us know, and we'll bring you back in.
Yeah, just write in the private chat if you want to come back in, Brandon.
Yeah, perfect. So, a couple of questions to start off with. Somebody's saying here, what are these sort of ideal strategies for BUSM and maintaining peg on BOM? So that's also been quite relevant recently, the last few days since being on Beefy, and the BUSM price has been going up drastically. So I think it was hanging around sort of 0.65, and it climbed up to 0.85. So it's really getting in the area where it can really be, utilized to the best of its capabilities.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, a strong strategy there is just, basically just borrowing, you can just basically loop it, right? So you can just borrow BUSM, you can buy BOM, convert your BOM to XBOM and deposit that as collateral. And, you could stop right there, which, so the XBOM that you deposit into BUSM as collateral is going to make your, your borrow position a lot safer. Or you could keep going, right? If the peg is looking good, you can borrow more at that point. And, yeah, I mean, so essentially, you can borrow US dollars, which are, with inflation and everything, they're, going down in value, and you can, buy more BOM with that and put it for XBOM, which is yield bearing token. So,
yep. Yeah, awesome.
Bullish on Bitcoin and BOM. That's you can just loop that and leverage your position up.
Exactly. I say also another question, kind of related as well, is somebody's asking, will BUSM, BUSD be added to the tariff fork?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great pair. You know, for the same reasons that Bomb made a great pair for the Taro fork is, you know, just being a pegged asset, the whole way that leverage works, and and the way that you get liquidated by the ratios changing drastically. You know, it's any peg pair, it just fits extremely well into that type of system. So you can leverage quite a bit and with a lot of safety. So
so also to add to that, if you're not really interested in leverage as well, a great strat would be XBOM to BUSM and then single asset supplying that on our Tarot site, because there'll be loads of BUSD in there, because who wouldn't want a great yield on BUSD as well. So I see that being high demand, so that'll be awesome as well. And again, going along from that, what are the long-term plans for BUSM?
Long-term plans for BUSM would be, the immediate short-term plan is to, get it on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. We have a site refresh coming for BUSM.money. We're going to better link it within the whole ecosystem. In the future, we'll have other options as collateral, so it's, we got a lot of plans for it. I mean, who knows, we might take it cross-chain one day. There's really no limit there. It just depends on what the market wants and, what there's demand for, and, what our community wants, and we'll build out what we need to.
Amazing stuff.
You have anything to add to that, or that's pretty much it?
I think that's about it. We could touch on what you said about having other assets as collateral. So we're talking sort of, the BOM BTCB LPs, I'm thinking.
I'm not sure if we'll do those, just because, preferably it's a yield bearing token. So it could potentially be something like the Vault token.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of options for, with Midas coming up and stuff, we have a lot of options where it's kind of built in that you can farm the LP while using it as collateral. So I'm not sure if we'll go that route, but perhaps we could go with, we could allow other protocols to, have their yield bearing tokens as collateral. And then we can gain traction on BUSM that way.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And say also as well, we're still in contact with Abra, trying to get on there. We're sort of still waiting for a sort of feedback from a few of the top dogs there on their peg for one, and two, they want to see sort of how we're getting along with BUSM on our own.
So do you have a list of questions that's separate from what's getting asked in the live right now?
I got a few. Yeah, this is the ones I'm reading off now.
Okay, so I guess we'll get to the YouTube questions afterwards, I guess.
Yeah, well, say if you want to grab a few of those, and I'll get a few more written up here. Do it from there.
Okay, all right. Let's start with the first one. So the first question is from Alan. I have a question. How long do you think BOM can sustain 100+% on the BOM BTC LP? Because that rate is awesome and mind blowing. To be honest, I think it's just the whole way that our protocol works. I think it's very likely that APR will increase. As we make some of the adjustments that are are being made right now, and as we pick up more steam, B share should appreciate in value quite a bit, and likely faster than that pair gets additional TVL. So I wouldn't be surprised if that APR actually goes up in the short term and even long term.
Yeah. So just to add to that as well, if you did, not the best example now, look at the Tomb FTM one on there. They're still looking at 165% APR, and they've got sort of 58 million in there. So like Aaron said, especially with the fact that we're pegged to Bitcoin, that's going to be what people are after in this sort of market. I can see it, like you said, being a long time, way over 100%.
Yep.
Definitely.
Another question from Alan. Why do we think so many of these tomb forks fail? So I'll give my take on that, and then I'll let Dan go after.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I feel that, there's a lot of ingredients required to make a successful tomb fork. And the biggest one being, the community, right? It's the whole way that seigniorage protocols work is that, you incentivize community behavior. So, you really need the community to, believe in the protocol and, want what's best for the protocol. And that's not an easy thing to build. And that's something that, being the first Tomb fork and, building a solid community as, being one of our main focuses right from the, day one, we've built that up, and it's really difficult for new protocols to build that up. And especially now that, we kind of set the precedent for Tomb forks, right? So we were the first one. We did really great almost immediately. So, all of a sudden, hundreds more Tomb forks popped up, and it's just, there's not enough demand or need or even like solid community members to have a solid community on every single fork. In addition to that, right, you need solid use cases and demand on your primary token, in our case, bomb. So if that's not the case, and it's very difficult for that to be the case for 800 protocols, they're all Tomb forks. They're not going to maintain peg, and they're going to really struggle. So, there's a lot of reasons why Tomb forks are failing. I mean, it's a really tough thing to do, even us being the first ones. It's very difficult, right? But for anyone popping up right now, I mean, it's I'd say next to impossible. It's just such a, there's just so many of them that have, popped up due to the success that Bomb had early on and is still having. So, everyone's trying to look to replicate that, or, I think a lot of people are just trying to make a quick buck, and, it's just there's just not enough demand for 800 Tomb forks. So.
Yeah, definitely. I say a few bits to add to that as well. I think you covered most of it. But also, there's quite a few protocols out there trying to sort of, as you say, Aaron, reinvent the wheel. They're trying too many different things which just don't work or are not needed. Or the opposite end of that, they're just copying another fork, and there's really no need to have two of the same, right?
Yep.
And another thing on top of that as well is having a team that's not doxed, like yourself. You're well known, you've been around for a while. And you see the other ones that come out and they just don't look as trustworthy, I'd say. When they're sort of all hiding behind closed doors, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really takes it takes all the right ingredients to have, a protocol like this succeed. It's transparency is a big part of that. What's that?
I think you keep cutting out a little bit. I've been a few times for some reason. Could just be me, I think, but
I think that might be on your end.
Possibly.
No, it just takes a lot of the right ingredients to make a protocol like this work. So, community and always building and having use cases for the token and partnerships, and it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of things going right for it to succeed. So, definitely a big challenge for any new project trying to do something similar.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. We're working on real use cases for Bomb, like the biggest ones being X-Bomb recently. Trying to make it work with Bosom, or BOSM, you should call it, not Bosom, and also using that with Midas again, sort of all collateralized ideas there, which is it's just something to really build on rather than just going for the same old sort of gimmicks type things. That's what really
X-Bomb is just one use case for Bomb. There's plenty more planned and will be built out in the near future. And keep in mind, guys, X-Bomb is great just for actually just earning, right? So it's like, even if you're not the type of person to want to borrow and deposit X-Bomb as collateral, it's still a great place to park your bomb, just because of how fast it grows, and that ratio of X-Bomb to bomb is switching, or increasing. So, I mean, even if you're not the type that likes to borrow, still a great place to put your bomb. So, because I feel like with all the talk about collateral and using X-Bomb as collateral, people feel that if they don't borrow, that X-Bomb is not good for them, which is far from the truth. So, I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, for sure. And say, also when we've got the new UI working properly, just simply staking Bomb in there once the APR goes up is going to be awesome as well, if you didn't want to go into X-Bomb for whatever reason. Actually,
while we're talking about X-Bomb, we are making an adjustment on the way that Bomb is distributed to it from the epoch. So that's the change has actually already been made, but we're just waiting for the time lock to hit the 7 days before we can make that adjustment and actually put it live. But it's going to trickle Bomb into X-Bomb because I know that we're having some issues with people trying to game the system there, and so that's taken care of.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Let's go to the next comment. MicroStrategy have announced they may explore yield generation apps for their uncommitted BTC. Handsome used to give Sailor a call. Yeah, actually, I did read about that this morning, or saw a video about that. I forget. But
say again, another thing with the new UI, once that's up and running, just having the pure BTC staking on there. I've got a list of long people just do sort of podcasts and things that I want to really push that towards and get them in on the whole ecosystem.
I think you cut out there for a second while you were talking.
Oh, could be me then. Which bit did you miss? Oh wow, that's gone up loads.
Next comment is: are the devs that are working on the new UI external contractors? If so, what are the prospects of hiring a bomb dedicated team? So it's a bit of a complicated situation. So the devs that are working on the UI, they're kind of halfway in between a contractor and someone that works on the team. I mean, they're kind of on payroll. They're kind of, they're kind of like a mix between the two. Although, we've had some issues lately with them being able to dedicate enough time to our work. And, we found out there was another project that they were stuck finishing, and, it just would have been nice to know about that earlier. I'm not happy about the communication there, and, not being transparent in terms of, their availability. But, they are a very skilled group of guys. They've done incredible work very quickly when they've had the time to do it. I've been told, about a little over a week ago, I was told in a week and a half they'd be completely done with their other projects. So, basically at this point, we can't really wait for any more delays. So, in the next couple of days, they should be done with their other projects. And, basically we're going to give it one last chance to say, hey, this is, we need timelines, we need good communication, we need transparency, and we need work to get, done very quickly. And if that's not going to be the case, we will 100% look elsewhere.
Yeah, perfectly said on that one.
So we've got another comment here. Mm-hmm. If you play devil advocate, how couldn't your protocol fail, or how can the whole project collapse and the fun is over? Thank you. It's not a knock on your work. Keep up the good work. I don't think it's FUD. I think it's just maybe English might not be the first language there. But did you want to handle that? How can the protocol fail, or what can make the project collapse?
Say if we have, highly unlikely, but a sort of a mass exodus of people from the actual bomb token itself. But considering what we've got in plan and in store, and all the use cases we have for bomb, I really don't see that being a factor myself.
Yeah, in terms of like smart contract risk, I think that's pretty much non-existent. Tomb is very battle tested. We haven't made any drastic changes to their code, so yeah. That's another potential angle, but one that we feel very strongly that is extremely safe.
Yeah, so there's something that Aaron's always sort of going on about would be the safety of all the contracts that we use, like things that we're forking. So, like you forked Tomb, Beefy, Tarot now, all battle tested, hardened. You've changed nothing in there. So as far as it goes,
very careful about changes. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We've seen way too many projects being, a bit manipulated by external factors.
Yep. Jesse, the MMA wrestler.
got an opponent.
Oh, he'll mess you up, bro.
He will. I'm not going to mess it. No. I'm out. I'm not doing it.
Another comment here. Do you have any educational video for newcomers, or planning to make some official video other than random YouTubers? So we do have quite a few videos. We probably do need to compile them into like a playlist that would make it easy for someone new to just kind of look in order and just kind of see the information that they need to see. I think once our new UI is released and it's fully production ready, we're going to make a whole bunch of videos on how to use every aspect of that, and that's going to be our our guide for new users. Although the new UI is going to be quite simple, so it should be pretty self-explanatory, but we'll still go through and demo all the different things that you can do in it. And,
to add to that, that's something I've been testing much to Discord's amusement over the last few days, is getting my setup ready. So like you said, when the UI is there and available, even if we don't think it's totally necessary, I'll be doing videos on pretty much everything in the system. So we can have a whole big list of our YouTube videos, or maybe even YouTube shorts, showing people how to do all the basics and all the technical stuff as well. Because following a video is easy peasy, right? If you've got to be there reading it all, then a bit more in depth.
I don't know, I'm personally a reading kind of guy, but I see how a lot of people like videos. But
yeah, some people just sort of prefer to watch, and they can just sort of copy one-on-one. But like yourself,
so we'll have everything, right? We'll have videos, we'll have
everything. Everybody's covered.
Got another comment here. As a newbie, what's the best way for one to understand how to fully utilize all the products in the BOM ecosystem? That's a great question. So the first thing I should say is probably that, BOM ecosystem is already large and it's going to keep growing. So maybe the focus shouldn't be on how to utilize all aspects of the ecosystem, but maybe to understand what each aspect is and then kind of figure out what you want to accomplish and what your goals are. But yeah, we do need to kind of give like a summary or like better navigation between the different aspects of the ecosystem, and maybe some just better explainers. And yeah, we could definitely use some improvement in that area.
Do you mean that on the new UI or on the or legacy one, we might call it, or classic version?
What's that?
That bit there, sort of when you're just saying about having clearer pointers and direction in between. Do you mean on the new UI or on the?
Well, I just meant in general, because he's asking about all of the different products in the BOM ecosystem, and so yeah. I guess right now that's our Taro fork. It's at BOM.app. It's BOM.farm. It's app.bom.money. It's busm.money. So and that's only going to be growing. So I just meant in general, just having better navigation between the different mini projects within BOM ecosystem, and just better explanations of what each aspect does, and
have a link up. I say that the majority, a few exceptions like BUSM and things will be with the new UI. It will be quite simply staking, farming, and then leveraging will all be there, nice and simple. So that's all done sort of streamline user experience, just so it's nice and simple for them, and it's easy to explain, basically.
Yeah, we like taking community feedback. So if you guys have any ideas of how that could be better displayed, then by all means, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I forgot that.
Some ways to download price data because I can't on Dex Screener. Why can't you on Dex Screener? It's typically the one that I prefer. I can show you. I'll share my screen here real quick. There you go. These links should work. So if you're having issues on Dex Screener, I don't know if maybe it's because in the URL they're actually expecting the pair address, not the token address. But you could just search BOM and it should come right up. That's the very first one there when you search BOM. Some alternatives are like PooCoin, I guess.
What, for downloading price data?
Oh, for downloading.
I think that's what the gentle woman's after.
Oh, I need a bit more info to answer that then.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's to plot it into some sort of sheet.
Yeah, I'm sure there's APIs that you can use if you actually need raw data. but just because the way the deck screener was mentioned there, I'm not sure that that's what he's referring to. Anyways, if you want to provide more clarification on that, then we can answer that better.
Definitely.
All right, you want to go back to those list of community questions?
Yeah. Say, got a few more with the new UI. Somebody was asking how will we know what safe leverage would be for the bomb BTC pair? How will that be shown?
So that's one of the things that's being worked on. In terms of how to show that in a very easy to understand way. So it's going to be very obvious, right? Like, so if I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Thero, but I don't even have a sample position to show you really, but it's going to be very obvious, right? So it'll, and also, we're debating on kind of limiting how much can be leveraged, to maybe limit it to a little bit less than what's actually allowed within the system, or, maybe there'll be an advanced mode that lets you kind of push the limits, but, maybe for, the default mode will maybe not let you go quite that extreme. And when I say extreme, like, I mean, like, maybe like 20 times would be extreme, right? Like, as we've mentioned many times in the past, if you do a 6 times leverage, you can, have peg either double or drop in half before you get liquidated. So that's that's huge movement on a stable pair, like a peg pair. So, even 10 times is, I gotta watch what I say, I guess, in case people get liquidated, but, it's compared to your standard pair, 10 times on bomb should be safer than like, 4 times on a standard pair being like, BNB plus any random token, really. And that's also, why BUSD is going to be a great pair there, just because, it's the whole pair is designed to maintain the same ratio. So we got a really important question in the chat.
I knew you'd put that one there. When soon.
Can the bomb earned in the boardroom have an option to be auto invested in the new UI single staking bomb, closing that loop? So we're somewhat limited in terms of what we can automatically do with bomb earned in the boardroom, because that smart contract's already been deployed. So yeah, there's not much we can do for that. We can suggest, different uses for it, or, we can't automatically move it there. But yeah, we can definitely, redesign the boardroom UI to kind of, give easy access to, staking their bomb, right? So you can claim it, and then there's like, one button to deposit all to bomb single staking or deposit to X bomb. That could be a separate button there, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and something we have talked about is having something on the page. Maybe when we do like you said, redo the boardroom UI, you can have something that directs people towards single asset staking for bomb. So, if that's going to be X bomb or bomb over on the Tarot fork, both brilliant options.
Bomb strong.
Bomb strong. Another one that's sort of probably more pointed towards me was how is the BTC single staking going? And sort of over the past few weeks, we've seen a massive influx of funds going into that one there, partly due to the James Pelton video, which was amazing. If you haven't seen that one there, it's in our socials. And if not, I'll link it afterwards. But basically going through how to deposit and basically the whole process behind it, which got some really good traction. And starting, I think it is tomorrow, we've got some BTC single staking marketing beginning. And they're doing a few test ads for a few weeks, and then we're really going to work on that. And the team we've got is a new marketing team, and they really know what they're doing, and we've been loving their work so far. So can't wait for that one there.
I'll pull up another comment here before you get to the next question.
Go for it.
Seems that we see quick selling after bomb earned in boardroom. Yep, I mean you'll see that with any system that delivers rewards on a non dripping at every block type of thing. If there's ever like rewards every couple hours or every 6 hours, you're always going to see some rewards being sold after they're distributed, right? So that's nothing new there, and nothing we can really do about that. All we can do is we can give people enough reasons to buy BOM to kind of counter that sell pressure. As well. Yeah.
Say sort of go for it. Go for that one first.
I just comment. Actually, first we'll get this one in. Thanks for answering the question. You bet, buddy. If you have any other questions, let us know. BOM is awesome. Can't wait for new UI and Tarot. BOM is explosive.
Where that one was going then. Something else related to the boardroom awards there, you said. Changing our minimum peg for print to 1.001. What do you see the effects that's going to give to B-shares price and also to sort of general hype around the project?
Well, I mean, those are like the two things that I kind of hinted at would, improve with the change. So I expect both to get better, really, right? So I expect, more often prints. Well, I mean, that's obvious, right? So we'll print more often, and we'll print, amounts that are more in line with, how much we should be printing. So, for barely over peg, 1.005 or so, it'll be a 0.5% print, which will still be quite large. So I feel like, it's going to be, it's going to bring more excitement to B shareholders. It's, we have that change coming to the XBOM, BOM distribution. So, the way that works is basically, BOM gets sent to a contract, and then that just kind of slowly drips it into XBOM. So, it'll be nice for that contract to keep getting additional BOM all the time from, constant prints. I expect B share to do well. I expect everything to improve.
Amazing stuff. What have we got here? Oh, same time. 1K B shares soon. Definitely. And that's another thing, right? With the current price of B shares, it's giving such a huge APR in the boardroom when we're printing and full printing, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring down the expansion rates a little bit, right?
Yep.
Brilliant stuff.
Got any more questions lined up there?
I'd say as questions go, there only is about 5 more, but we've covered them all. They were mostly about the new UI and how things will work on that one there. So, like we said, we're just getting through the final little bits with our dev on that one there, and hopefully that should be out in a few days' time. At least at the beginning,
if anybody wants to
start doing that.
Oh, we got a question here. So, is there any possibility to provide minimum APR in boardroom, maybe in the new UI? It's not convenient to move boardroom to farm every other day. I mean, that's not really the purpose of the boardroom. Like, the boardroom is supposed to be for, people that kind of believe in the protocol long term, and they want to get the benefits, from when we're above peg. And, it's, if you're looking for consistent APR, you should just be farming nonstop. You shouldn't even bother with the boardroom. What we can do is we can show an APR that's based on.
I saw it as well.
So what we can do is we can show an APR that's based on based on what the current price is, like the time weighted average price. We could show exactly what the expansion is going to be, and this is going to be more relevant after our change takes effect next week. And we could show what the APR is based on that exact current price. But there's way too many variables, and we don't know how often we're going to print in the future, and to show like a minimum APR, is minimum APR 0. That's if we don't print, right? So that's always going to be the minimum. Hope that answered your question.
So I think you nailed it on that one. When old UI? I've been asked that one before. I like it. I like it a lot.
And anybody have any questions?
See,
comments.
yeah, like I said, see if anybody here's got any more questions, but we've covered the majority of the ones I had listed down just by having a chat about everything, which is amazing. So hopefully on our next AMA we can do. I've already got planned a YouTuber for that one now. I'll let you guys know. I'll tease later on in the week about that one, and we can show them the new UI and we can get them in there. It'd be amazing.
We got a comment. Yeah. So I did get a ledger. They did mess up my order, so I only got one of the two. So I think I got the Nano S, maybe. But yeah, no, I've been using it with Bomb. It works well. So busm.money still has there's that one thing that you have to do the first time that you I think it's when you borrow for the first time or when you deposit collateral for the first time. You do need to do something manual if you're using a ledger. On Trezors, it works no problem, or on regular hot wallets, it works no problem. But yeah, now that I have the ledger, I can see if I can figure out what's going on with that. But there seems to just be like an issue with Ledger doesn't like to sign transactions, because I think it's not only on busm.money where I've seen that issue. So we do have a workaround. If you need it, you can reach out to us, and we should probably put that in the docs, right? Is that in the BUSM docs?
Sorry, you cut out then. My internet went again. What did you say?
I said, is that in the BUSM docs, the workaround for how to use a ledger with
No, I can do that. I can do that. I'll make a note right now. Yeah, I'll do that. It's not a problem. So like you said, hopefully we can get that sorted and fixed so it doesn't have to be done as a workaround, right?
Thoughts on the idea of allowing for the lending out of B shares? Can you maybe expand on that question? Like, what do you mean the lending out of B shares? You mean like having that as part of the Taro fork, or? I mean, B shares already, we already have two different places where you could farm with your B shares, and we obviously have the boardroom. So, and also B shares doesn't really have like a yield bearing token to be used as collateral, so that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, if you want to expand on that question, we'll pull it up when you expand on it. What about adding a gambling use case for B share? So as like, because we're a seniorage protocol, really what we need to be doing is finding use cases for BOM, not for B share. B share has a massive use case as long as BOM is in demand, right? So any use cases will be for BOM, and when there's more demand on BOM, B share will automatically go up in value. I think this is in regards to the documentation on the BUSM site for the workaround.
Okay, cool. So in the meantime, before that gets put on there, feel free to message me on Discord. Hanford, was it #3800, I believe, or you can just find me on there, or just at me in Discord, and I'll send it all to you so you can get around the problem.
Yeah, that issue is just related to that one wallet.
Yeah.
What about XPOM revenue share staking with Casino? You want to handle that one?
Revenue share staking with Casino. So, do you mean they're having a casino and using some of the, let's say, sort of, profits for it to go towards XBOM? Gian, is that what you mean by that one? I'm going to reply back. We'll go into more detail on it.
Oh, this is elaborating on the B share question. Yeah, we could add the B share BNB pair to the Taro fork. There's a lot of different directions we can go with the Taro fork. Like, potentially we could have that be just a money maker for the BOM protocol and launch, something that's not just for BOM assets. So we could have, any protocol on BSC kind of, set up shop on our Taro fork, and we can take the revenue from that and, put it in the BOM treasury and, kind of build up the strength of BOM. But in terms of the new UI and keeping things really simple for new users, for sure, we're going to, our second pair that we add is going to be the BUSM BUSD. And then, I think likely we probably will add the B share BNB there. But, if we decide, we probably will. But once we make the decision to have the Taro fork available for a lot of other pairs, 100%, then we'll have the B share BNB up on that.
Yeah, so also to add, that's a really slept on pairing, right? The APR, I think, somewhere near 0.65% a day on the 50/50 B share BNB, which is just insane, right? Even at these low prices of B share.
Yep. So the B share total supply is 70,001. So there's a bunch of B share that's in the reward contract that gets distributed out to everybody farming and all the auto vaults and everything. That's like around 163 a day. But based on the number that you entered there, I'm guessing that you're using a number that already includes those. So the remaining B shares are the protocol allocation and the dev allocation. So those are get claimed manually, and they're minted when they're claimed. So once the final claim on that happens after the 1 year vesting period's up, then we'll be at 70,001, and there'll be no more after that.
Cool. Next question.
The biggest question I have: once BTC is deposited in the single stake option, are profits accessible, or are those tied up for 6 months as well? So I need a bit of clarity there. I mean, if you're talking about the Taro fork, then it's on BSC. There's no lockups or anything. It just you deposit it, and the longer that it's in there, then the longer you'll be earning on it.
Yeah, so I reckon that one's about the BTC mainnet. But if you want to clarify which one, I'll be happy to answer that one there as well.
Well, it's because he says, are they tied up for 6 months as well? Well, if he means as well, what's the other option? Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. If you guys can be a little bit more clear with the questions, that way we can kind of maybe give you a bit more direct of an answer. Staking XBOM receiving casino revenue share. I mean, I don't think we have an issue with XBOM not getting enough rewards. Like, I think, getting 20% of all prints has made the ratio go up incredibly fast. And, but I feel that we'll be printing even more often very soon. So I don't think XBOM has an issue with not getting enough rewards.
Yeah, especially when we're, printing at 1.001 instead, like you said, XBOM's going to be going up a lot more often, even if it's just a tiny bit. Makes all the difference, right?
Yeah, so I'm not sure where. Oh, not the one through MetaMask.
Okay, so you mean bombtc.com. So let's go back to the question a second. So this one here. Yeah, so you deposit your BTC in there, and if you withdraw it within 6 months, say you withdraw halfway through in the 3-month stage, you'd receive 50% of your rewards because that gets deducted. But if you keep it in there for the whole 6 months, then you get all your rewards back and you don't pay, I think it's the 0.001 BTC, I think it's the withdrawal fee. Just a tiny fee just to cover everything RN pretty much. But hopefully that answers your question.
Well, probably the important parts of that are, the 5% bonus. You need to be in there 6 months or else that gets removed. So
yeah, that one as well.
Also,
yeah, sorry.
Then also to get your full rewards, you need to stay in the full 6 months.
Yeah.
Will the Taro fork buy BOM from the open market? So, I mean, if people want a single stake BOM, they have to buy it from somewhere. They'll buy it from the open market. If people want to, deposit their LP pair as collateral to leverage, they have to buy their BOM from the open market. But the Taro fork itself, besides the auto vault aspect of it, it doesn't really buy anything. Right. So it's just, you're depositing assets and then somebody else can deposit a pair of assets and then they can kind of borrow from those other assets that were supplied individually. So there's no real buying or selling going on in that. It's just kind of increasing liquidity. But yeah, we do anticipate the extra uses of BOM and the extra ways to generate yield, and leverage your collateral will increase the buy pressure. Working on it. when BOM. It's always in the back of our heads, working on it and figuring out how to be unique and exactly how we want it to operate. I think we have settled on it likely being a 2-token chain, with BOM as the native, BOM being used for gas, and just basically BOM being used for everything except for governance and except for the validators. So validators would be, you'd stake something like B share, and that's also what would be used as the governance token. And probably like the XDAI Gnosis chain is probably the best example of that right now, where they have like XDAI as their native currency, but because that's a peg token pegged to the US dollar, there's no opportunity for that to appreciate in value. So it doesn't make an ideal token to stake or anything like that. So that's why they have the second token that you stake in order to validate on the network. So we'll likely do something like that.
Awesome. This one here. If you don't withdraw the principal, just the rewards. So what we're going to have in place by the time that the 6 months timer ends, we're going to most likely add in that you can withdraw your rewards, but keep your initial stake in there, because at the moment it's sort of withdraw everything or sort of leave it all in as a compound, right? But you can, if you withdraw before your 6 months are up, you'll only receive part of the rewards. Got one there.
It's not really. So the question is, what TVL do we start focusing on BOM chain? I'm not sure it's really a TVL question. It's more about, just kind of there's certain things that we need to achieve with the current, set of tools that we have in the ecosystem before we can, put too much resources into BOM chain. So there's a lot of factors there. TVL, I guess, is like loosely one of them, but I'd say it's not one of the top factors. It's more just when it's the right time for the evolution of BOM to move that direction. But yeah, it's we'll definitely provide more information on that when we have it, and it is something that we will do without a doubt. So watch out for that update.
So I think we've got any more questions about anything we've asked at all or talked about in the chats there, because I think my list I have is exhausted because we've again covered it all so quickly. I'm just checking the socials a second, or see if we've got any more in there.
Have you ever thought of expanding the project also on the Phantom network? Yeah, I mean, there isn't much that we haven't thought about, to be honest. But we will, we were planning on going cross-chain about 2 months ago, and till Synapse kind of strung us along for a couple months and then told us that we weren't a high priority. So that was a bit disappointing. But, we won't be, I mean, I shouldn't say we won't, but we likely won't be launching like any major aspects of the protocol on other chains, but we will provide cross-chain of our primary token BOM, and and if we do launch other tokens in the future that have other special uses, they potentially might be cross-chain as well. When proposal for super secret idea?
There's a reason why it's a super secret idea.
When I talk about this, I say too much, so I'll let you answer this one.
We'll let you know as and when our master plan is ready, or is at least a long way down the line of being developed. Let's put it that way. We don't want to tease anybody too early and build up pipes, say a month or two too early, because that's sort of the estimation of timelines. I would say we'll say a couple months, something like that. Yeah, nothing imminent, but definitely worth the wait, and something that's going to be huge for BOM as a whole. Not going to say any more because I'll say too much. We're both very similar. We get going. We get too excited.
Yep.
We spill the beans.
All right. Well, if anybody has any other questions, try and get them in quick, or else we'll maybe let's wait another 30 seconds or so, see if any questions come in, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure you guys show up on to our Twitter space on Friday 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, and so definitely for that one there, that's a lot more geared towards having people coming on and talking as well. So really don't be afraid, even just to say hello. Just pop in, say hello, maybe ask a few questions or talk about anything, really. It doesn't have to be crypto. Could be your day. We don't mind.
I want to give a cryptic hint.
I haven't got one planned, so again, I'm gonna spill too many beans there.
On Friday we will. How about that?
All right, there you go. Cool. Tune in on Friday, and I'll write something out so I don't mess it up. Yeah, sounds good. Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it.
So I think it's been 51 minutes. Wow. Okay. There you go.
Thanks everyone for showing up and watching. Thanks Brandon for coming on live with us and joining us at the beginning there.
Yeah.
Do you think Powell will mention BOM at today's what is that their chair meeting or whatever? I'd be shocked if they don't talk about BOM.
Yeah.
I mean it's imminent.
Love it. Brilliant stuff.
Better talk about BOM.
Better, yeah. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks a
love
lot.
what you do. We love you all.
Thanks to all the community. I mean, like I said earlier in the stream, right? It's the whole success of the project is largely based on the community, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for having such a great BOM squad. So thanks to everybody.
So true. Yeah, all we can say is the loyal BOM squad will be we'll do very well. Let's put it that way, especially with the new secret idea we have coming up. Definitely.
Is that financial advice? Hey, Brandon.
Yes,
Hey.
but no.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
I saw you turned your cam back on.
No, I was just saying, see you later.
Oh,
Appreciate
okay.
you having me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on
Yep.
stream. And
Yeah, cheers.
if anybody in the community wants to do what Brandon did this week, just reach out to Hanford and he'll get you set up.
For sure, definitely. Or if Brandon wants to come back next week with some more questions, feel free to.
Yeah, man, it's good having you on.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, guys, let's end it up here. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day.
Brilliant. Cheers, guys.